Welcome to the MMA Junkie Rankings Report for Wednesday, November the 18th. John Morgan, of course, our rankings chair. Gorgeous George Garcia. And George, not a lot of movement this week, but the movements were kind of up at the top of some divisions and some ones that really made sense. It started with Thursday night. Of course, Bellator now doing Thursday nights. Bellator 252. It was Patricio Pitbull looking very, very sharp against Pedro Carvalho. Now, Patricio is already up there quite a bit in our rankings already. Did he do enough to make a move for you?
I think so. I think we're going to have to swap him with Zabit. And, he did two things. One, he's just a little bit more active than Zabit, and that's coming off a one-year layoff. Zabit's coming off a little bit more of a layoff. But even then, he just hasn't been as active as Pitbull has. And Pitbull, look, he fights in Bellator where he may not have as consistent top competition, but he fought Archuleta, the current bantamweight champ. He fought Daniel Strauss, a former featherweight champ. And then along the way, he's defending his belt throughout this Grand Prix, and snuck in there was when he became champ, and he defeated Michael Chandler. So the level of competition's there. Look, when we're discussing ones and twos and threes, we're splitting hairs, and he did two things. That statement win, the KO, and again, Zabit's not helping him because he's just not being active.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. High praise for Pitbull, but the guy deserves it. And, man, depending on what Michael Chandler does in the UFC, man, that win could start looking even better on Pitbull's record. So it'll be interesting to see. I think the guy can compete with anybody in the world. All right, let's talk about UFC Fight Night 182, which was on Saturday night there. It was Rafael dos Anjos returning to lightweight for the first time in 4 years, picking up a very impressive win over Paul Felder. And, sometimes when guys move divisions, we wait a little bit to kind of see where things shake out. But RDA has made it pretty clear, hey, I'm going at lightweight. This is where I'm going to be. I'm chasing that title. So we got to take him out of 170, move him back to 155. Tough to slot him after some time away. Where do you sit him at?
Exactly. Yeah, you covered some fine points going back to, a few years when he exited off of 2 losses, the Alvarez and Ferguson losses. Hey, no shame in that. One guy became the champ, and the other one is El Kukui. Do we need to even bring up his resume? So he left as a top 5 guy, and I looked to see, can we bring him as a top 5 guy? He did okay for himself at welterweight. He almost became an interim champ, but then he kind of exited on some losses. He admitted, those cats are big up there. I'm coming down. Hey, he looked good at weigh-ins. He looked good against a quality opponent in Paul Felder. Did he get the finish? No, but when you're dominant like that, sometimes it's almost as good. He does seem committed. To 155 being the future. He wants the belt back. He's already getting some love from Connie Mack. So, yeah, I think we're right in moving the fighter now, and I think the spot is number 7. I had to go look and see, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, what's going on here? It wasn't until I got to Charles Oliveira, I was like, no, we can't disrespect Oliveira's 7 wins that he's had in a row. Let's bring in RDA at number 7 right behind him.
Yeah, Charles Oliveira would definitely choke you out if you did that, man. So good move there. Listen, hey, that opens up a spot at welterweight. I know Chaos Williams was the one that made all the noise over the weekend, but ultimately the guy we brought in was Yaroslav Amosov. Brilliant record. Why was that the guy you leaned towards? Well,
we've had a lot of these guys and gals over the years where they accumulate great records overseas in their regional promotions or, promotions that we've heard of and we keep an eye on, but it's not until the big leagues come calling. And by that, I mean where they can, where they have actual depth, where they can test you, And he's 6-0 now in Bellator, and he's got some really, really good skins on the wall, including Logan Storley, who was previously undefeated, Ed Ruth as well. So I was pretty impressed, and I wanted to give him some love because any way you slice the pie, man, 25-0 and 6-0 in the current big league, it's nothing to scoff at, and I think Chaos Williams will have an opportunity as well to compete for that honorable mention spot and eventually make his way up. But he's only 2-0 in the UFC. He's looked great. I definitely don't want him coming after me either. I got man's full with Charles Oliveira already. But no, I think Yaroslav is the guy right now.
At least if Chaos came after you, it wouldn't last very long. You know what I mean? He gets it done quick. So. It's great. All right. Well, listen, it's another crazy busy week in the MMA world this week. We got UFC, we got Bellator, we got One Championship, we got Invicta in action, we got CFFC, which might not be affecting the rankings, but you want to watch CFFC anyway. Anyway, there's starting to be some movement. We'll talk about it next week.